For the last 6 months, I've tried to make as much money as possible. I've done yard work for different neighbors, sold countless things on Facebook Marketplace, reffed tons of soccer games, resold Nerf guns, organized my neighbor's house, and I've even become a human vending machine. I'm trying to make $10,000 in 1 year with no full-time job. And I've almost quit this challenge multiple times. Like the time I was going to sell a hoodie to Walker on Facebook Marketplace. We agreed to meet up one Saturday morning so we could try on and buy the hoodie. So as I was walking back to my car, I realized I forgot my car key. So I walked back to my house to get the car key, but then I realized I forgot my house key. I was completely locked out of my house and car, and I had to meet up with someone coming from out of town to buy my hoodie in less than 10 minutes. So I had two options. I could bail out on Walker and tell him I wasn't able to meet up and not make the $35, or I could sprint my way to the venue where we were going to meet up originally. So about a minute after deciding both options, I chose the second option. After full-on sprinting for 8 minutes, which felt like an eternity, I finally made it to our meetup place and Walker was already there in his car. Walker hopped out of his car and I gave him the hoodie to try on, completely out of breath. But unlike Cinderella's shoe, the hoodie didn't fit Walker. Awkward silence ensued. Then, Walker apologized and said he wasn't going to buy the hoodie, got in his car and drove off, leaving me sad, depressed, embarrassed, and wanting to end the $10,000 challenge. But my interaction with Walker was nothing compared to the painful situation I had with my referee boss. About a month ago, it was the dead of winter and I wasn't making much money. Now, indoor soccer was my only option to referee because outdoor soccer starts in early spring. So I wrote to my referee assigner or boss and I asked him to please give me games for indoor soccer. He replied less than 3 minutes later and assigned me a set of 3 games to referee and told me to accept them. Irresponsibly, I hadn't blocked my schedule on the day that I couldn't ref because I got confused with 2 different dates. So basically, this happened. I asked for jobs from my boss. My boss gives me games to referee, then I reject those games and decline them. After realizing my job-threatening mistake, I quickly called my assigner and profusely apologized to him. But then he only gave me 2 indoor games to ref the entire indoor soccer season. Either way, I missed out on hundreds of dollars. For those 2 reasons and many more, I've wanted to quit the $10,000 challenge. But I'm not, and I won't. And this is the recap for January. Let's begin. To start off in January, I made $15 in a way that I would never expect or anticipate in all of my life. A local school near me had conducted a survey and they needed someone to interpret that data for $15. They said the job would take around 2 hours and I just signed my name up and I was the first to get the job. Essentially, the private school was straight up asking the teachers if they enforced the cell phone policy, which is no phones in school at all. And 48 teachers said yes and 2 of them said no. Luckily, my tablet had a built-in microphone, so I just spoke the answers and the computer got them, so I didn't have to spend much time typing. So the job in the end only took me around 35 minutes. Sure enough, a check for $15 came in the mail, but I'm still confused as to why they didn't have someone in the school department do the survey. When I saw an advertisement for the school employing someone to do the survey, I thought it was a scam, but then I saw that the school was a well-respected school, private school in my area, and I was like, well, maybe they just need someone. So that's when I signed my name up. I never thought I would complete a survey for a school, making $15 in the process. Just like I didn't think that I was going to go snow shoveling this year, because it's rare that it snows in my area. So as soon as I heard that snow was coming my way, I went on the Nextdoor Neighbor app and Facebook to see if anyone needed me to snow shovel their sidewalks or to clean the snow off their roof of their car. While the snow was still falling, I was still writing to people, reaching out to neighbors to see if anyone needed help. Out of the dozens of people I contacted, I had one lady who lived outside of my neighborhood ask for help to see if I could shovel her sidewalks, her steps, her driveway, and clean the snow off her car. We agreed to a price of $70, so as soon as the snow stopped, I was on a hop straight to shovel snow. In a little over an hour, I finished my neighbor's big property and then continued on the hunt to see if anyone needed my services. Right now we've knocked on about 6 or 7 houses
and we're not getting anything. They're always like, oh, my son will do it, my grandson will do it. It's unfortunate, but we're hoping to get more business.
A few minutes later, my brother and I found our second client of the day. We were going to shovel the snow off a lady's sidewalk and clean the snow off her car. She was paying my brother and I $20, so I got 10. And after around 2 hours of snow shoveling, I had made $45 and I was done for the day. A few days after shoveling snow, I made a new bank account in which I could put my money towards the $10,000 challenge so it can build up interest. And I was given $5 for opening an account with my bank. So that's $5 towards the challenge for free. I also forgot to mention this in the earlier recaps, but I opened a certificate of deposit, or a CD, in November with my bank. It was for 12 months and $500. So I can't touch the $500 for 1 year, but when I get it back, I'll have around $520 or $525. And I definitely thought it was worth it to open that certificate of deposit, just like it was worth it to referee 3 soccer games for $50 each. Since I wasn't getting any indoor soccer games because of the situation that I explained at the beginning of the video, I had asked other bosses to see if I could referee some winter league games, which don't pay as much because they're like practices and scrimmages, but it's still relatively good pay. While I was refereeing, I forgot to record any of the clips of me doing so. So this is me now, and that's the money I just got. $50 a game also wasn't bad at all, and I'll take it, cash too. And just when I got home from reffing those soccer games, I turned on the news and heard that we were going to be getting more snow in just a couple days. Another opportunity to make more money. It's been a few days since the major snowstorm last week, and we just got 3 more inches of snow. I've just knocked on 3 doors and nobody answered. And so I'm going to more houses now. Hopefully I get some work because I've been walking around for 10 minutes and nothing's happened so far. Quick update. I just finished 3 houses, total of $70. I didn't film any of it because there was no one to film me. I mean, my brother wasn't with me this time, so it was just me, and I had no one to film me. So $70 for, I'd say, about a good 2.5 to 3 hours, which is solid, and I'll take it. And I couldn't just snow shovel that day, I had to have fun in the snow. A few days after the snowstorm, a friend of mine needed $1 from me, so I gave them $1. And they ended up paying me back, but with 50 cents interest to help me out for my $10,000 challenge. So add those 50 cents to the grand total. And on the last day of January, the 31st, while I was out and about at the grocery store, I found 1 penny. So in August, I made a total of $364.82 by mostly doing outdoor work and reffing summer league soccer. That's also when I started my Facebook Marketplace store. September, however, was when I really started to pick up money, and it's the most money I've made in any month of the $10,000 challenge. I helped a lot of my neighbors rearrange stuff in their house and move stuff around. My Facebook Marketplace store started taking off because of all the things that I listed on it, and on top of all of that, it was the height of soccer season for refereeing, so I was refereeing every weekend. The month of October was almost as good as September, but it wasn't because my Facebook Marketplace store died a little bit, and I wasn't getting assigned as many referee games. But I was still doing yard work for my neighbors, which really kept me through. After I peaked 2 months in a row, November was my worst month and still is my worst month by far. I only made $223.27, which was mostly because I wasn't reffing on weekends because soccer had ended. My Facebook Marketplace was still getting sales, but it wasn't going crazy like it had been the past 2 months. And I wasn't doing much yard work because of the climate and because of the month. It wasn't in September anymore when there was lots of leaves falling and such. December was another peak month, and a big contribution to that was that I attended a local Christmas bazaar and sold a lot of toys that I didn't even use or want or need. They were just taking up space. So I got well over $100 from that, and I also got hundreds of dollars from my Facebook Marketplace store, which really popped off because Christmas was that month and just around the corner. Now, first glance, after making the graph and seeing what I made in January, I would say that about $300 is not good because I need to be making at least $800 if I want to do this challenge every month. But then I think to myself, that's still a lot of money. I shouldn't look down upon what I've made. I should be grateful for that money, even though it wasn't what I was originally intending for. And $800 is a ridiculous amount. So even though it's not as much as I wanted to make this month, I'm happy with the money that I made. I'm going to invest it to make more money in the future. And speaking of investing, I've invested about almost all the money that I didn't spend, from the $10,000 challenge into shares and bonds. And I'll get back to you guys on those in a few months or maybe even next month to show you how I'm doing and I'll add up the money I've made from those to the grand total of the challenge. But the thing is, that money could go down and I could lose it. So I'm thinking that I won't add it until the very last month of the challenge, but we'll see. It would just make adding up the money for this challenge very hard because I can add, like, say, $100 that I made in February from stocks, but what if I lose $200, for example, in March? That would just be really hard for me to calculate. For the past 6 months, I've been trying to make as much money as possible by doing numerous things as you've seen in this video. Now I only have half a year left to go. Will I be able to hit the $10,000 challenge? Until next recap.